The party
Guy
was lame
Fieri.
to me.
Fieri.
Fieri.
This is the fun.
Yeah.
So they're trying to track him down. Mora's at the party.
I just want to say, you are never allowed to pick the freaking theme for anything again. Okay. Albuquerque, fire truck. We're just yelling out words now? What's going on here? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of BS Drunk Movie Reviews. Now, this is a weekly podcast, and we do upload the video version of this to our YouTube channel, so be sure to check us out there. My name is Matt, and as always, I'm being joined by my co-host and sister on this journey, Vetta.
Hi, guys.
Hey, you.
Sorry if I don't sound the best. I have the COVID.
Yeah, I'm sorry, sweet pea. It's okay. Just get through this one, and you'll be able to go back to bed.
Yeah.
And on this episode, we have a special guest returning by popular demand, not my demand, is
my mother's
our oldest brother, Don. Don, how you doing, dude?
I'm doing great. I'm camping for Labor Day.
Yay.
So I'm yeah, it's good.
Yes. Now, on this episode, we are going to be talking about the movie that is Don's choice, and that is The Coffee Table. Now, before we get into this, I'm going to ask the most important question of the night, and that is, what are you drinking? And Don, since you're our guest, we're going to start with you. What are you drinking, dude?
Okay. As always, if you ask me what I'm drinking, 150 times out of 100, I'm going to say bourbon and Diet Cherry Coke.
Nice.
Love
Can't go
cherry.
wrong
I mean,
with
a lot of
bourbon.
people disagree with that.
I don't know those people.
I was going to say I wouldn't turn it down.
yeah, right. I love bourbon. Okay. And Vetta, what are you drinking, sweet pea?
So since it's called Coffee Table, I am drinking coffee and Kahlua.
Nice.
That's a good choice. You can't
And
go
cough
wrong.
syrup. I took a whole bunch of
Oh, dude. Hey,
Wait.
scissor.
Did you pour NyQuil into that? Because if you did, that's the most baller move ever.
Yeah, kudos to you, dude.
No, I did a shot of
NyQuil,
NyQuil
right?
before I came into the room.
with its death green fucking flavor.
Oh my God, can you imagine what that would have made the cup?
It would have been bad. It would have been bad.
Kahlua look like.
I bet you could make that. You could do coffee, NyQuil, and Kahlua, and just you would be fine. You'd be like, I would drink this.
Maybe. I'm not gonna try it. You have at it. Okay.
I'll give it a go.
I'll let you know.
Right, yeah. You give it a go and you let me know. I'm not gonna drink
What are
it.
you
though, ever.
drinking?
I am drinking just wine because they drink wine in the movie. And so
They do.
I decided
I
would
wish you found that Pacific one that the woman was like, it's not expensive, but I like it.
Right. Well, this one's not expensive, but in fact, it's
But
cheap.
you like
but I like it. Yeah. Okay. So as I said before, we're doing The Coffee Table, and I just want to read the synopsis of this. And this is called Jesus and Maria are a couple who have just become parents, and they decide to buy a new coffee table, a decision that will change their existence.
True.
Now, I want to real quick also give a little background of why Don chose this movie, because Don decided to follow the advice of Mr. Stephen King. And he put out this tweet that says there's a Spanish movie. Hold on. There's a Spanish movie called The Coffee Table on Amazon Prime and Apple Plus. My guess is you have never, not once in your whole life, ever seen a movie as black as this one. A little racist. It's horrible and also horribly funny. Think the Coen brothers' Darkest Dream.
You do the worst main accent on the planet.
Well, he didn't. He didn't say
but you're
white.
You're gonna read it in his voice because you were doing something there.
You know what?
You did a thing.
Okay, I did a thing.
Were you
All
fake mocking?
Okay, I was fake mocking. All right. You know what,
It was
fuckers?
Southern Lawyer.
This is not a
I'm just
review
gonna
on
go
my.
with you shouldn't take advice on movies from Stephen King.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. He has horrible taste.
No, that's wrong. This is a brilliant movie. Fuck you guys. Brilliant
Okay, well, I was gonna go around it real quick within like 2 or 3 words.
Yep.
What did
Vetta
you
goes
think?
first.
Vetta, what did you think about the movie?
Okay, so I have twofold on this
Okay,
one.
you used your 4 words. Don, I'm just joking. Vetta, go ahead.
So I liked the idea of it. It was definitely dark. Like the whole premises of one decision in your life can, change everything. Like I'm always saying, we have the lives we chose, good or bad. It is interesting that they chose to make it a coffee table. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that
Mundane,
coffee
right?
table's
Mundane.
hideous. Yeah.
Oh, let's get Don't
No, we'll
mention the
get into
coffee table
the
itself.
decor
Keep going,
later.
keep going.
But
Yeah.
so I liked the whole premises of one decision in your life can change everything, good or bad. This movie made me sad. Like, and then it also perplexed me by a ton of decisions in this movie. And I'm still trying to wrap my whole brain around decisions made during the movie. So I mean, I don't like anything with what happened to spiral this whole thing. I don't like it. So that makes
I
me
don't
very
like it. I'm
unhappy.
not into it. I
Right
don't
on.
endorse the topic of this movie.
Okay, and Don, real quick, within a 1 or 4 word.
Can I have like 8 words? Can I have 8 words?
Sure.
8 words.
You can have a whole sentence. It's fine.
Okay.
Or Vetta, you can have a paragraph.
I'm sick. Leave me alone.
So we're in August. We got a few months left, but best movie of 2024 I've seen.
Okay.
And I'm willing to explain why, because I'm not saying that I love it or that I was made happy by it. I'm just saying this thing, masterpiece. And you don't have to like it for it to be a masterpiece.
That's true.
Mona Lisa, that's an ugly bitch. Masterpiece.
That is true.
Right on. To sum up this movie, I hate this movie. Okay. All right, so let's get into this movie, okay? So
he was better at sticking to the 4 words than we were.
Yeah.
He gave me a whole sentence. I didn't have to do 4 words.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
You.
Listen, no, it's totally fine. Everything's fine. You guys' explanations were fine. Okay, now I want to talk real quick. We don't have to start with at the beginning of the movie, except I do want to talk about the beginning of the movie first.
I mean, I'm sorry to Matthew.
No, you're good. Go.
Are we spoiler free at this? Are we spoiler free?
Yeah, spoiler free. Yeah, there's no.
You can spoil it.
Yeah. We're not a non-spoiler podcast, Don. Okay.
Because I get it, but if somebody listen, this is what I would say. If you're going to listen, if you are a BS drunk movie, whatever the thing this called is, then and you are coming into it, and if you have not seen the spoilers or you don't know, stop. Do not watch anymore if you think you're going to watch the coffee table.
I'm more insulted that you don't listen to your brother and sister's podcast.
Drunk sister podcast?
No. Okay, so all right. I just want to talk about the beginning of this movie first, and then we can talk about whatever it is that you guys want to jump into and everything. But the first thing I want to talk about is the buying of the coffee table. So I don't know about you guys, but I've bought furniture.
I got thoughts.
You guys have bought furniture, of course. But I kept writing down, this is a horrible salesman. Apparently not, though, because Jesus bought the coffee. Yeah, he makes a sell to Jesus, who is an idiot. Maria, in my opinion, has way better taste.
Is a bitch.
Yeah, and she's a bitch.
Super bitchy. Yeah. Holy cow. The whole time she's calling him stupid and all this. And I'm like,
listen.
Wow.
Yeah. I think this is the one thing I would say. When Stephen King, a genius, says that this is a funny movie, he is mostly, if not completely, only talking about this scene. This scene is incredibly funny. It's incredibly dark. It's incredibly the whole thing. Like because who hasn't now? I'll say overall, this movie is it's got one lesson to teach you. Listen to your wife, especially when it's going to matters of decor, right? Just boom. Just listen to your wife. Like
It's not worth the argument.
I hate that phrase, happy wife, happy life, because fuck you. My happiness counts too. But also, like, this is one of those things where, yeah, 100% in Spain, happy wife, happy life, right? But this scene with this guy and her berating the husband and him and that ugly fucking baby, because that's an ugly baby. The part where they call it beautiful, it isn't. It's not. I don't know if babies are ugly in Spain or more ugly in Spain. And the dad's
like making fun of his name, like that's a terrible name, and the salesman's like, "That's my name." Oh man,
I love the part where the wife is like, "So you reject our son's name?" And it's like, okay, that's a hardcore. It's a hardcore, right? To just go like that is the part where you reject him in the name. Do you? I mean, where it's like if he had pulled up a rosary and sprinkled some holy water on the baby and it had steamed a little bit, you would have been like, oh. You know what I mean? Like those are the words. Like they seem to be like serious. Like you rebuke our son in the name of God, and it's like, wait, what? No, I don't do that. I don't do that. I'm a guy arguing with you over a coffee table, not over a baby.
Yeah.
And she went right there. She's like, baby, you don't like our baby? He's like, no, I'm just arguing because I want my way on a shitty Tony Montana fucking coffee table, because that coffee table right out of fucking Scarface.
Right on. Maybe that's why he liked it so much. I don't know.
He's a big fan.
And I loved how the salesman was like, well, you need to make a decision because I have other customers in the store. And I'm like, where? I see no.
Yeah, there was no other
I can talk. I can't wait to talk about the scene with the salesman later. It's amazing. No. It's amazing.
Yes. Okay. So
like, I forgot to enter you in the drawing for the fan.
Oh
it's
man,
beautiful.
This whole thing. Matthew, we're cutting Matthew. Matthew's got an agenda.
Sorry,
Matthew agenda.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I was just gonna say
you're the host. I am deferring to the host.
No, the only thing I was gonna say about this opening scene is because you guys already touched on the fact that the wife was not very kind to her husband, and I didn't get the berating the baby from the wife, but
did I say berating the baby?
You didn't specify who was berating the baby, but then you clarified by saying they were making fun of his name and stuff like that. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so the other thing I just wanted to say is when Jesus was talking to the salesman, he goes, listen, you've already got the sale. Would you buy this table? And the salesman goes, no. I'd have been like, buy. I'd have been like, I'm out of here. I'd been like, I don't have to buy it from you. I can lie to you just like you're lying to me.
Which let's be honest, it feeds into that karma part later. Because
that's some pretty hardcore
like you
karma.
Said, when the guy was like, oh no, I wouldn't buy this table, which was amazing because the guy was like, hey, I'm going to buy it no matter what. Would you buy this? And the guy was like, everyone on the planet would have went, okay, well, I'm not buying it either. I know I said I was going to, but I was obviously lying.
And who believes a salesman that says the table's unbreakable glass?
Right.
I laughed so hard when that salesman said that.
I'm going to disagree with you on this point. I agree with you that the unbreakable is unbelievable. But the part where he says it will bring happiness to your family, I just looked at that thing and went, that doesn't bring happiness to most people.
Right on.
I do agree. This is the one part where, because when I read the description, it said horror comedy, and this is the part where I laughed. I was like, "Oh my God, he's terrible!" And and this guy's still buying it, and his wife's like, "You're a fucking moron."
And since we're going into that part, because it said, the whole synopsis of it, which I mean, I didn't just take this movie solely on a Stephen King recommendation. It was 75-25. And then I read the thing where it said a coffee table, which, I mean, obviously the name is the coffee table, so it had to play into that. But I was like, oh, they went to Goodwill, they thrifted a coffee table, and it's ghosted, or it's full of ghoulies or something. Yeah. And this was a coffee table that maybe we couldn't find the exact one, either, all three of us, but we would find a gaudy ass glass coffee table in a furniture store in any of our in any of the areas that we live.
I'm pretty sure we could probably go to like New Jersey and find that exact same table.
Well, you don't live in New Jersey, neither does Matthew, and neither do I. So in Michigan or Minnesota, I
Yep.
think we could get close. Maybe not exact, especially since I'm not going to lie, and I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but this looked like the statues that knights have to walk through in the never-ending
Never ending
story.
story. Yes.
Otherwise, they get lasered.
Yes.
Right on. Okay.
Matthew didn't get that one.
No, I know what you're talking about. I've seen the never-ending story. Anyways.
All right there, R-Trax. Get the fuck out of here.
His name is R-Trax?
Arteo.
R-Trax?
No, that's
what
the
is
horse.
The horse.
The horse
that sinks into the mud.
That's Arteo.
No, it's not Arteo.
Are you
Oh
sure?
my goodness, you too.
I mean, maybe not.
Okay,
But
it's our
it's
tax. Okay, it's our tax. Okay, I just looked
that's
it up.
what I said.
Okay, now, oh my God, I can't believe we're arguing over the fucking name of a horse. Who cares? Okay, so moving on. Okay, so they bring the baby.
Coffee table.
We're not arguing. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Buying both of you this coffee table for Christmas.
Oh goodness. Okay, so we now
I'll kill a baby with it. I swear.
They get home, and Jesus is building the coffee table, and he can't build the whole thing.
No.
Because...
Can we stop? I want to dissect this a little bit because I loved him pushing that thing up the stairs because it totally felt like you don't push, you pull. You pull upstairs.
I went, why is he doing this himself? He should have paid the $50 for delivery.
That wife was pissed.
Yeah.
They don't have free delivery.
I would have paid the extra money for the delivery and setup.
They don't have that in Spain. Keep going, Matthew.
No,
Spain, free delivery? That doesn't exist. Get your ass on a bus with your coffee table.
Yeah, so they end up bringing the baby and the coffee table home. And he's built the coffee table, except he can't finish it because he's missing a screw. And he calls the place or whatever. And we're going to get to the accident, and then we can discuss whatever part of the movie you want to. So Maria, she goes to the store to pick up groceries because Jesus' brother is coming over. And she leaves without the baby. And while he is taking care of the baby, he trips and falls, and the baby is decapitated. And what was that?
By the table.
Yeah, by the table from the glass, because it obviously shattered and everything. So after this,
not unbreakable.
It is not unbreakable.
And also not guaranteed to bring happiness to your family for the rest of your life.
And can I just say, I'll save it. Go ahead, finish, Matt.
No, you're fine. Go ahead and say it.
I was just going to say, when Maria comes home and laughs because it's not unbreakable.
Oh my gosh, you're going into this already.
Yeah, just go into it.
That is the best part of the movie. Just her cackling, goddamn wicked witch of the West cackling over this. I'm going to tell you this. My wife, she didn't want to watch it because she's smart. And she went, I'm just going to go take a shower and don't stop it and keep going. So she entered into the movie after the baby that part had happened. And I paused because I stopped. Listen, at home, I become the most obscene movie watcher ever. I'm like this movie, which was 2.5 hours, or no, 90 minutes long. I started it at like 7 o'clock and didn't finish it until 10 o'clock. And up to halfway through, my wife wasn't in it. And I just had to keep pausing to mention things because I just become that obscene person in front of you in the movies when I've rented something at home. Oh, no. I just got commentary, man. I'm just I'm just practicing for the podcast the whole time. Unlike Matthew, who hasn't barely said 2 words. He doesn't think anything about the movie before he starts.
No, I have plenty of thoughts.
I'm happy to hear them. I'm excited. I cannot mention. So go ahead.
This guy,
And can we stop calling him Jesus? Let's call him Jesus because I love it.
Okay, fine. We can call him Jesus. That's fine. Jesus. So, I'm like Vetta. This movie just made me sad the whole time. I didn't have fun watching it. I didn't laugh, not once.
There was so much.
It was. I didn't understand Jesus's thought process. I mean, kind of.
I did. I did get it.
And everything. So, I did write down a couple things just randomly. Like I
Cool.
wrote down Ruth is crazy. I don't like Ruth. Ruth
Is Ruth a girl?
The
is the
little
little
13-year-old.
13-year-old,
Yep.
yes.
I
Because
love that little girl. She is the worst.
yeah, she's the worst. Because I don't
Absolutely.
says it sounded like, well, it didn't sound like it was like she had created this whole relationship up in her
Narrative,
head.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm
100%.
just and the whole time I'm just like it, and she's like, "Do you want me to show my mother your text or something?" I can't remember exactly what she said, but I'm all like, if I was him, I'd be like, "Yeah, show her. Yeah,
That's what
bring
he
her over
said.
here."
He
Yeah,
was
but
like,
yeah,
yeah.
I can't
Listen,
remember all the dialogue. I only watched it at the
I
one
gotta
time.
say, I would not have made it in the house because the whole coffee table movie would have been how I'm disposing of Ruth. Because who isn't so scared as a middle-aged man of a little girl saying, "You love me"? That would be it. If I'm not related to you in any way, shape, or form, and you say I love you, I'm just gonna be like, I got to. I've got too much to lose.
That girl was just crazy. He recommended a book of poems, and she was like, "He wrote me all those lovely poems." And he's like, "You mean the book I recommended for your school project?" Like, it's so bananas. Like, if this baby situation wouldn't have
Okay.
happened, she would have killed him in a crazy,
So I think one of the honest things about this film, if we're not, I mean, we can get into all the actual things, but it is, in my opinion, a commentary on the trials and tribulations of parents dealing with children. And that means because at the end of the day, like I was telling Renee, my wife, or a lot of people, I'm like, when you are a father and you're left alone with the baby, for me at least for a little bit of time, and actually as a grandfather too, my whole thing is don't drop the baby, don't drop the baby. You got the baby, don't drop the baby, don't drop the baby, don't
Right.
drop the baby.
Hmm.
And this guy dropped the baby. That's all that happened. Because you hear the squeak of the shoes, meaning he stumbled, he dropped the baby, right? That's all ever as a man you are trying not to do whenever you have a baby is not drop the baby.
Right
yeah.
on.
And I
Don't drop
just
the
don't.
baby.
But the way he handled it after he drops the
Oh yeah.
baby,
Yeah.
like
He
swaddles the baby up. And I kind of get he swaddles the body and puts it in the crib like he's letting the baby to rest or whatever. But he leaves the head under the chair and goes and starts scrubbing the floor and takes the glass out of his hand and showers. I'm like, call somebody,
Yeah.
please.
No, 100%. You just want that guy to call 911 the whole time. You're like, this whole thing. Like, yeah, your wife is not going to stay with you. She's not. She couldn't. I get it.
Oh no, I
But,
called suicide. I was like, she's dead. She's going to kill herself when
oh,
this
no, no.
happens.
I can tell you
I thought she
100%
was
of
going to kill
some
him,
heavy things.
but
No, 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 no. And we can get to the end. I want to get to the end. But I
Don't
can
we
say this
all?
because no, no, no.
the baby
Like I
room was
said,
awesome though.
it's
All the
it's a
toys in the
brilliant.
baby
This
room.
is a brilliant movie because that's the part of it. When they're in front of the guy, the salesman talking, and he's like, "Oh, fuck this baby," because that's what he's kind of saying. He didn't mean it. He did not mean it. He took all that time and deliberation and care making the baby's room something that he was proud of, something that he wanted the baby to live in, right? That he
Right.
was proud that he could provide for his child. So all that shit, all the shit with the wife at the beginning is just animus, right? He just the relationship between these two people isn't good. It isn't a healthy marriage. It isn't a healthy relationship, but and that bleeds over to whether or not he actually loves the baby. He does. 100%. He loves the baby. He took all this time and care and effort into making this baby's room something that he was nostalgic for, right? Nostalgia is a longing for the past, right? So
Right.
he longed for that past and then he wanted to give it to his baby. The problem was a couple things. He doesn't love the name. He wasn't 100% on board for having a baby at that exact moment. It doesn't mean at any time that he doesn't love that baby whose name I don't know. I think it was cayenne pepper. That was the name of the baby, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It was cayenne
Yeah.
pepper.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the hard part. And I'll be honest, and I hate to say this for any woman listening, there isn't a man on the planet who has found out his wife was pregnant and wasn't trepidatious, right? It's not happiness. It's just, can I do this thing? And in Jesus' estimation, no, you couldn't. You couldn't do it. You failed.
Yeah.
We all have that feeling as men because you spend all this time with a baby in your body, caring for it, nurturing it.
Yeah, we're mothers from the minute the baby's conceived. Fathers don't become fathers until the baby's born. Like you go from like I have a woman has water. 9 months to
what?
Water? Did you just drink some water?
No, I have wine.
Oh, okay. I thought you had water and I was about to chastise you.
No, I don't have water. I don't have water.
Okay.
I get what you're saying. Because, you know, women, we have 9 months to grow into the idea that we're a mother. We've nurtured this baby. We've grown it. Men don't. You literally become a father.
Yeah. I barely grow.
One day you're not a father, and then the next day you are. And you don't have that same what's the right word? I guess emotional attachment yet.
Right?
Yeah.
Just attachment.
So yeah, I do totally get that aspect of it. And the way she mother hens, I don't think she's given him that chance.
No, I agree.
Because you watch her and hear her talk about the struggles of having a baby, like, and she clearly says this baby is the most important thing ever, which you should say as a parent.
No,
but
you shouldn't. No. You shouldn't.
No.
For me, my thing
with
I think my kids, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, and you can disagree with me, and you can
disagree with
bad.
you.
Cool.
He still has small children, but I disagree.
The thing that we've always told our kids as they got older, obviously not when they were Matthew's children's age, was, I'm going to take your dad's side. I'm going to take your mom's side. Because guess what? You're going to go away, and we're still going to be here together. And that was the thing. Like I get it. I love my kids. I love them too much. I love them too much. I will say that automatically. I love them too much. But they will leave and I will be stuck with this woman. So
he will be stuck with this woman.
And Don, I don't agree with what
amazing.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I think that like when it comes to my life, I think that having children was way more important than anything else.
I think this woman is following her child wherever. If this child
she's for sure a helicopter parent.
She would have followed this child forever. Like this child would have went to university. She would have moved in down the street. Like,
gotcha.
But my point is that, listen, your children leave the nest.
For sure.
Hence empty nesting. So I think that people a lot of times make a decision where our mother telling our father that our children above, us above all. I get that feeling because we all have that feeling as parents, but our kids are going to leave, right? And that's my point of that. Your kids leave and then you are stuck with the relationship. So if you've done all these things while you're parenting to ruin that relationship, no, I'm saying it's the thing that's going to be there. It sounds harsh. I'm saying it's the thing.
Okay.
They aren't stuck. The kids aren't stuck.
Right. Okay.
They're going to leave.
All right. Though this isn't the memoirs of parenting.
An oath and a vow with God, right?
Yes.
With God to say that I'm here till death do us part, right? I've said that. I said in front of Matthew was there.
Yes, I was there. Yes.
I don't remember.
I'm regretting being here right now. So.
I was in the wedding. I was the maid of honor.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, fuck you.
Sorry.
Asshole.
Yeah, fuck you.
So this is my whole question. And you guys asked me this.
Matthew was this tall. Matthew was this tall during the whole thing.
Yeah.
He was this big.
He was an usher.
All right, Vetta, what was your whole thing?
I remember
oh my God.
Pastor Otto ushering him to the back with that bottle of wine. I don't know what happened in that back room.
He fucked me. Anyways, so Vetta, what were you saying?
So this is my whole thing. when you guys
on a coffee table.
So So say when you guys had when any of your children were babies and your wife went to the store or went to go shopping or did whatever, when she came home, did she never, and this baby looks like it's maybe 2-3 months tops. I don't even think it's that
That
old.
baby looks so large.
But
You don't
mean,
know what
I
a
don't
baby
think
looks like.
it's, I don't think it's supposed to be in the movie. I think it's supposed to be like a brand new baby.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
Right.
No,
2 months at most. At most,
yeah,
I would agree.
that's what I'm
2
saying.
months at most.
So this is my question.
Even though it was an
Would your
obscenely large
wife,
baby, record
would
winner.
your wife have ever not gone and checked on the baby or kept you from going and checking on the baby?
Yeah, no.
So I think part of the movie is this whole spite thing, right? He buys the coffee table out of spite. She leaves him alone out of spite, and then she cannot not let him hide the baby because she's been so spiteful, right? I mean, I don't think it's normal. I really don't. And that's a part of this movie that is great. Like, there was a few years ago, Matthew and Marlon made a big deal, and so did I to a certain extent, of this movie called Hot Tension, which means high tension. And it sucked. But this movie, the way they ratchet up the tension during this whole thing, it's just amazing. Like, I mean, like my sphincter is clenching through this whole movie because I'm like, oh my God, this baby is fucking decapitated through the whole thing.
And this lady, like, literally is a foot away from the head. Like, she smacks the chair because she's like, you got blood, it's ruined. And I'm like, yeah,
oh my gosh, isn't that fucking
and then he
silhouette
sits
of a crescent head?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's the brilliance of it. The
like,
brilliance of it is they play it so close to the vest throughout it. And I'm not saying that everything makes a lot of sense, because it doesn't, but just the way that they are able to build suspense, even in a little bit of a nonsensical way. Because most mothers would insist on checking on the baby. I get that. They really, really would.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, this woman she made a scene in several occasions, even by making him bring that table upstairs by himself. She could have helped. She did not. She could have wheeled the baby up and left it in the fucking living room while she helped. She didn't, because she was a spiteful woman, the same way he was a spiteful man, right? And that's where I think the part is they were never partners. And because they were not partners in the raising of this baby, a horrible, horrible thing happened. And it's just, beautiful is the wrong word, but it allows the artist to make this dichotomy between the way two parents interact with one another, or that one bad interaction with you and your spouse, it reverberates through your relationship, right?
Right. Okay, so I would like to transition over to when the brother shows up. The brother
with his
shows
18-year-old girlfriend.
Was she 18?
Oh my God.
Yes, when they're sitting at dinner, I can't remember, I think it was the husband or Jesus that says, it's not the same when you go and get your 18-year-old girlfriend pregnant.
Right.
But he does say 18.
So Carlos and Christina, they show up. And so I just want to say, I've never had a Spanish omelet, but I'm totally interested in trying it. It sounds delicious.
We're going to have brunch soon.
Yeah. No, thank you. I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Did you love Christina's shirt that said "No bad days"?
No bad days.
I'm pretty sure Jesus was having a bad day.
Yes.
So much foreshadowing in this whole thing. The foreshadowing is insane.
I did write down vegans, can't trust them. Okay. Anyways,
why? They don't cut off babies' heads.
Well,
according to this movie.
He didn't cut off the baby's head. Okay, he had an
accident. The vegans were nothing but helpful.
I mean, I guess so.
Yeah, his brother was trying to figure out how to keep this covered up.
Well, I felt like he was a little bit more rational, where he was like, all right, we've got 10 minutes. We need to think about how we're going to tell your wife what happened.
His baby's head.
That's very true. That's very true. But at least he was
his
He was all like,
nephew's
we have to
head.
get these, we have to tell your wife. Like, we can't keep, this is way too long keeping this a secret.
Yeah.
So
I did also write down, I wrote down these people are weird. They're just like, I don't know. Their conversations are just like, not, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's like when they were talking about.
They're not Americans.
That's true. They are not Americans.
So culturally, we don't know what their conversations
but if you
may
watch
or
a
may
lot
not
of
be.
if you watch a lot of foreign films, the conversations are a lot like this. I didn't find it as odd. It was just very foreign film.
I agree. Yeah.
Right
I mean, most of their conversations were very Squid Game to me. Also a foreign film.
It's a show. So I also
No, it was released long form in Korea.
Oh my goodness. Okay, fine. It's a movie. I'm not going to argue about
that.
Okay.
It probably isn't. I don't know.
Okay, so
he just was poking the bear is what that was. I saw that.
I did like how the brother was the one that, came upon Jesus, giving his suicide recording.
Letter.
Yeah. And he was all like, and then they were both in the baby's room, and he was all like, I did like how it was like a brotherly kind of thing. How he's like, all right, let me just help you. It kept saying like, listen, it was an accident. These things kind of happen, even though it was pretty bad. And I did like that.
I will say, I like that part too. And it was apropos because throughout the whole movie, from like the moment that baby got decapitated, I just kept going, kill yourself. Because I'm sorry,
right?
If I had dropped a baby and they had lost their head, that's it. I would have fell trust falled into that coffee table, like the whole thing. I would have just been like, catch me, because that's it. That's the only answer, because there is no good. You don't survive this in any way.
Oh, so, no, you don't mentally come back from that at all.
Yeah, you're traumatized forever.
Yeah.
I also okay, so can we talk about when Maria does find out about the baby?
Can we talk about Ruth coming in first?
No, that whole thing, the whole thing.
Can we talk about the laugh part?
Okay, let's talk about that part, because that part
chronologically, right?
Well, I mean, we don't have to talk about everything chronologically, but but when Maria is like basically being a dickhole to Jesus about the table breaking,
which is there not a woman on the face of the planet, or a man for that matter?
No, it's a woman thing. Home, it's a woman thing.
It feels like it, but I don't want to count them out, because I can be pretty shitty at times.
Yeah, so but she like went on for days.
That laugh when she was like unbreakable.
Which I just
and she's like the karma of it all. And I'm like, girl,
and the
whole time she's doing, I'm like, girl, don't do that. This is no, because I know what's happened. But
I mean, but even when like before that, when she was just like hitting on this guy for wanting an obvious shitty coffee table, there's not a person on the planet that's like, cool, bro, get that coffee table, it is lit, that baby is gonna, I don't know, walk her underneath it, everyone's gonna be so happy, bro, you gotta have that coffee table. Never ending story. Atreyu, whatever, Artax, I don't know, what was the luck dragon's name?
What was the dragon's name?
No, the luck dragon. He wasn't a normal dragon. He was a luck dragon.
Yeah, we all know he wasn't a normal dragon. He had like the dog of a head, you fucking asshole.
And scales.
His name is Falcor. Oh my God. I love you, but right now I hate you.
I love that I get to do this to you on film. I just like that part where I get to nag you into not knowing something that you've known most of your life.
Yes.
And then having to do a weird side eye where you're like, oh, core.
Yes. Okay. Anyways.
I just like that his fun part about this is to poke you into where the vein in your forehead's going to explode.
I don't have any veins in my forehead.
The alcohol is
Botox.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so now Ruth has arrived.
Yeah, I know. I know you didn't say not this part. I'm listening.
So Ruth arrived, and the mom, like, she's like, I need to come in and talk to you. And the mom's like, no. or Maria's like, no. And then she goes, your husband kissed me in the lift. Like,
yeah, which
in
I
the
just,
lift.
which I personally, I just go like, she should still have not let this little girl into her house with her dog. Who brings their dog with them
Yeah.
anywhere?
I don't disagree with you on that.
I'm just like I would have been like, listen, Ruth, I
we
can't.
have guests.
Yeah, I can't deal with you right now, honey. So go the fuck home. Don't come back. And I would have just been like, move your foot, or I'm gonna move your foot, bitch. Like,
Yeah.
get the fuck
Oh
off my
yeah,
property.
she was brazen with that.
Yeah.
She stuck that foot
That
in there,
kid-
like
That kid was the coolest. I mean, in the face of not, I don't think that kid was a good person, but that kid was just the most baller little girl in the world. Like wearing the tracksuit, just like, I know you kissed me. I know you sent me love poems. And the guy being like, no. And then being like, I'm coming back this afternoon. And if you don't have some answers, I'm going to get answers. Like that kid, that was the most Donald Trump fucking MAGA kid in the world. Not in the fact of politics, but just like, just most so sure of themselves in every stupid thing ever. If I had only at 13 be able to assert myself that way, I would be president right now.
Well, thank God you're
I
not.
go,
Yeah, thank God.
she's a sociopath. Period. There's
I.e.
no ifs,
president
ands, and
right
buts.
now.
Yes. So I feel like right when Jesus or Jesus and Carlos were ready to tell Maria about the baby.
Oh, and Ruth ruins it.
Ruth ruins it. Well, children have a
the
tendency
dog,
to ruin
technically.
everything. Well, she brought the dog, so she ruined
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And the dog, latches onto the baby's little nose or whatnot and pulls it out from underneath the chair. And of course,
Ruth
glad we
loses
didn't
her
see
shit.
that,
yes,
actually.
I have to be. Well, I'm glad we didn't
Which
see her.
is when Ruth actually becomes a child, right? At that
Yeah,
point.
and
To
she's
every
very
point up to that, she's playing adult, and
Yes.
then things get adult, and she's like,
Yes,
"Oh,
and
I'm not
gonna
an adult."
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, when they said at the end when she was traumatized or whatever, I was like, good, bitch deserved it. So the dog ends up, and Carlos is holding the head, trying to shield Maria from this whole situation. And
Carlos is the hero of this.
I do like
Carlos.
Yeah. I did when Maria sees and takes the baby's head.
Oh my God.
I felt so much for Maria at that moment. And I'm glad they didn't play her screaming. They just played music over the whole thing.
I'm really glad through the whole, like that last, I mean, what you could probably call the third act. Because as a horror movie, they could have played into it. They could have stepped into it. And instead, from the whole thing, they stepped back. Like even up to a lot of parts before that, where they play heavy on what could be considered the horror element, like when he takes a bite of the pie or whatever it is and bleeds out it.
Right.
Like they're playing up that horror part of it, right? Which was fair. Like even that, like, because you're like, this dad, he's going through it, right? I mean, as how he would not be. The part that then they could have kept that throughout, even up till the very end. And they really played that part very, they played it very lightly. They played it with some soft touches, and they didn't have to. As a horror film, a lot of people would have wanted to see all the end parts, right? And they didn't do that. And I think that was absolutely, as an artist, a filmmaker, which I'm not, but I'm saying as those things, they didn't, right? Because they could have, and they made a choice not to, right? And it was, in my opinion, it was the right choice, because they go hard at the beginning. I mean, they don't go completely hard, because not showing the baby, because when the screechiness happens, to me, part of me went, is this going to be the dad's laying there dead and the baby's crying? And they didn't do that. Like the whole thing, like even not showing it, because there probably is a certain part of the horror community that would say, no, I want to see the baby die. And it was like, no, I didn't. Personally, as a dad, as a person, I didn't want to see that.
I think it did more for the movie by not showing any, like it doesn't show.
That's what I'm saying. Like the parts they pull back and don't go hard, are very effective.
And playing the music is super effective because you see all of the screaming, but you don't hear it. And as a parent, you can't fathom ever having to go through some of that. But like
I
your
cannot.
brain is like processing, like I could hear everyone screaming, even though you couldn't.
Yeah,
And
100%.
when
You're right.
and when the mom, like my only thing is that I find very strange is that Jesus was on the balcony and was going to jump until he heard his wife come back from the store and she didn't have her key and she was buzzing him in. And I just go, this movie would have been a completely different situation if he would have just jumped. But I knew the minute she took the baby's head from Carlos, I was like,
Oh my
oh,
God.
she's done. She's done.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's fair because I mean, I think everyone's fate is sealed at the point of the baby's decapitation. Like, I mean, I cannot tell you the moment Renee stepped into the room, laid on the bed, and asked me what was going on in this movie. The whole time, all I'm yelling is "kill yourself" at Jesus, because that as a dad, I was like, I couldn't face any of this. I could not. I couldn't face any of this. I'm just like, just kill yourself, right? And then I honestly, if I was saying from an expectation of the ending, I didn't expect Maria to be dead. I really didn't. And then when the whole thing unfolds, and she walks or takes the head and then starts to walk through, I was like, oh shit, it's all going bad, right? Like she's gonna do it, everyone's gonna do it. I wouldn't even be surprised if that husband, the brother, went over the side and just left this one baby alive that's in the little, not Ruth, but the other little girl, right?
So what did you think at the end when the police show up and the one police officer's like, what happened? And the female police officer goes, murder, suicide, a decapitated baby, and then the mother had the baby's head. Like, who do you think, like, I'm like, how do you get murder suicide out of that? Because who do you think murdered who? How do you not? I mean, and no one, and the brother and his girlfriend aren't giving an answer because she's in shock. Ruth's in shock. He's in shock. And the only words
Ruth's
he keeps
dead.
utter.
Or no, Ruth's
no,
alive.
Maria's dead.
Maria's dead.
Yeah.
Jesus is
Ruth's
dead.
the little girl.
Cayenne Pepper's dead.
Yep. And all the brother will keep saying, according to the police officer, is the coffee table. Like he's trying to tell them that nobody murdered anybody.
Okay.
But I can't
we
figure
have
out
to
how
talk
they
about
got
one
murder
thing
suicide.
before we get to, or no, after. It can follow in any way, shape, or form. But I got to talk about at some point the delivery of the missing screw. The missing screw.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. No. So the whole thing, so that part, because of the whole thing, and because of how hard the salesman is, like, I felt the connection, all thing. I'm like, is he hitting on Jesus? Is this a thing? Is he just so lonely and destitute in his job that he's like longing for connections? Or is he just like, hey, Jesus, num 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 on that wiener, right? I couldn't decide. I don't have an answer to that at all.
I will have to say that was a very almost like if you would have viewed that, like you came out your door and you saw that, you'd be like, I should go back in. This is awkward for everyone involved.
It's a grinder, right? They just grindered each other, which I don't know what that means, but I'm thinking grindering one another is a thing.
It is a thing.
Yeah.
So
yes,
that part
did make me
laugh. But it did a good job of making even the swarmy salesman me feel sorry for this guy, because he's like, I don't have friends. I don't have anything. I know I sold you the worst coffee table ever, but I didn't do it on purpose. I just did it because I need to make some money, but also I'm very lonely, Jesus. And your name is Jesus, so you could comfort me the way that a Jesus would.
Well, and how is it that everyone believes that his sweatshirt and his face have paint?
Yeah, I did write that down.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because who would paint a child's bedroom blood red?
Yeah.
Well, I do go, and I'm not sticking up for Jesus at anything. I'm sticking up for normal people. normal people obviously don't want to assume the worst. That's a thing that I think that a lot of people in life across the world, they want to think the worst of everybody, but actually most of the time when they come up against somebody, they honestly don't. They honestly tend to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like you tend to give, you don't meet a person and think, I mean, and that's why, like, Matthew and I were talking about Strange Darlings earlier in the week. It's like you don't like somebody picking up a person on the road. You tend to go, this is a person in need, and I'm going to help a person in need. And yes, the obvious thing that most people think is this is a serial killer. I don't pick them up. But that's not how life works, honestly. We tend to think the best of
Well,
people.
we're very much in the mindset of this won't happen to me. This can't be
Yeah,
happening in my
okay.
life.
Yeah.
People just
Which
that
makes you
I
think the
mean,
best.
speak
yeah.
for yourselves. I'm not helping anybody. You're on the side of the road. Have fun on the side of the road.
Oh, you've never
Yeah.
picked up a hitchhiker or somebody that needs help?
No, I don't want to
Oh.
get murdered.
Oh, I have.
I will
No.
say I don't pick up hitchhikers, but I will stop on the side of the road
Oh man.
and say, how can I help you? But as far as getting in, if I get into my car, I don't do that most of the time. I
Oh,
haven't done that
I'm
for a
a help.
very long time. But if someone was like, hey, could you get gas and bring it back? I'd be like, yeah, of course.
Right on.
Right. Those things. And I think that's the thing. What I'm saying is like, people generally do their best to help other people. I mean, we want to say that people are bad and they think bad things about each other. I don't believe that's true. As a person who works in education or I tend to think I assume positive intent 99% of the time. Even with kids that I know don't have positive intent, I at least give them the benefit of the doubt until I got to pull the trigger on them, right? Until, oh no, you didn't. You weren't being good, right?
Right.
And that's the thing that I think most of the time happens, unless you're assuming that Ruth is doing the best that she can. But I think also if we want to deep dive into it a little bit, there's a couple of at least parts that I think that it's juxtaposition, because meeting Ruth on the staircase, the mom's like, yeah, Ruth's a piece of shit. And then no one actually tends to believe that. They kind of laugh it off, right? But then the ma or the
No,
guy that's like,
I just want
hey,
to say I knew Ruth was a piece of
Oh,
shit right off the bat.
she looked crazy from the get-go. I did not think
well,
she was just a typical kid.
but it seems played up for humor, right?
Yeah.
Dark humor or otherwise, right? And then you meet the mom or then the guy at the grocery store asking for a recommendation of wine. He's not his best person because he asks, but then immediately takes the bottle of wine she has, right?
Mm-hmm. I thought
So
that was funny because
that guy's, it's
he
funny.
gave me creepy vibes and then he just took the wine and walked away and I went, oh,
Yeah.
he
I
was
think
just
you're
honestly
right.
asking for wine.
Yeah. It's played up for humor because obviously that guy's like, yeah, I am a piece of shit. Give me your wine, right? and then they come upon mom who was a family friend but had moved away, and then he's like, oh yeah, being a parent's the best, right? So you have all this juxtaposition of throughout the movie of people being their best and their worst throughout the movie. Even the salesman, he's his worst when he's selling something, but then he's his best when he's delivering the screw, saying, hey man, I get it. I'm not a good, I didn't feel like a good person in this moment, but also I want to make a human connection to you. You felt like a good person or somebody going through something. And I think that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a million times where people are like trying to be at their best. Even Jesus, when mom goes away, he's dragged this shitty coffee table up the thing. And then she's like, I got to go to the store. I'm not being my best because I'm like, fuck you, take care of this baby, bitch. And then him going, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna actually take care of this baby. And then actually decapitating the baby, right? It's just it's I think that's where the humor part comes in, where people are trying to be their best selves and then actually being their worst selves at one point, right? And Ruth is her worst self through the entire thing. because she's 13 and everyone is their worst self at 13, right?
Mm.
It's
So
hard. It's hard.
what do you think their thoughts were at the end with the whole thinking it was murder suicide? At least because right now the cops are just forming their opinion on the situation because they can't get anyone to talk because everyone's in shock. So eventually they're going to find out that the dad tripped, decapitated the
Mhm.
baby, mom and dad jumped off of the balcony, mom just happened to be holding the head. So
Matthew?
Yeah.
what do you think they're thinking as far as the murder suicide?
I think they're just
Matthew?
thinking like cops, you know, they're
Yeah,
just thinking
cops.
like, yeah, they're not thinking like they don't know what really happened. Eventually they'll find the
ACB.
they'll find the suicide video or audio and they'll be able to be like, okay, he tripped and it was an
Yeah.
accident. So
Yeah, I think that's part of them putting it together. I agree with Matthew that they don't know what happened. No one is actually able to talk to them, which seems about right.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, whenever you would, if listen, you can come to my house, and I don't have any babies, but pull a bloody baby head out from the armchair, and I will just not be able to talk. Right? That's I think as far as that, it's a normal. I think that all the things in the end are a normal human reaction to the brother not being able, like he was trying to fix it and couldn't. The pregnant 18-year-old not just like, holy fuck, I can't really do anything right now. Give me
Oh,
a
she
few
just throws
hours.
up. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Oh, it was the best throw up because mostly throw up scenes are the worst.
Yeah.
It seems so fake. And she did it. And I won't say it seemed real, but it seemed like a close approximation of just like, ugh, oh my
Yeah.
God, I can't handle this.
I wouldn't have been able to handle it, that's for
No
sure.
one would have been able
I
to.
was watching this movie by myself, and if anyone would have come in and said, "What are you watching?" I would have been like, "I can't. What? Go away. We'll talk later, not now."
Hence,
So
this is all hence the Steve. Listen, at the end of this, all I got is one question. Was Steve King's tweet wrong?
yes,
yes.
Yes, it
yes,
was wrong.
Yes.
yes.
Matthew, could you read the tweet?
Okay, let me pull the tweet back up again. Okay, so
Oh
the
man.
tweet says there's a Spanish movie called The Coffee Table on Amazon Prime and Apple Plus. Okay, he's not wrong there. Okay, just want
Nope,
to say
nope,
that right
not wrong
there.
there.
Good,
Not
good,
wrong
good.
there. Right. So far, so good. My guess is you have never, not once in your whole life, seen a movie as black as this one. I don't know what he meant by that one,
That's
but
true.
okay.
But that's true. That's true. I've
Dark
not
film.
seen a
Okay.
Dark.
baby decapitated movie
Sure,
ever.
sure. It's
So
horrible and also horribly funny. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, whatever.
it was funny. I don't know if it's horribly funny. That makes
Yeah,
it sound
It
like
is.
I
mean,
had a
I
I
didn't
sound
think
think that
sleep.
part.
Funny is not a word to use in this
It's
movie,
a
but
dark. There is some
It is
darkly
dark
comedian
humor.
part.
I mean, I
Yeah.
guess so. Anyways, and then
I
he
think
said,
most parts actually.
think the Coen brothers' darkest dream, which I mean, I don't know. I can't speak to the
I would
Coen brothers and their
say
dreams, but
that's maybe like 60-75% accurate. I still go with Scott.
yeah,
I
we'll just
think the Coen brothers part, whatever. Don't mention them in the whole thing. It doesn't. That part, whatever. Just get that off the
Okay,
table.
well, I take back
But
his
dark.
tweet isn't completely wrong. It's
yeah, he's fine. He's fine.
yeah.
Yeah. Steve King gave a very accurate estimation of this film, right? Which did lead all three of us to watch it. Because
Yes.
I seen that tweet with the coffee table, not expecting what I was getting. I don't even know. If you ask me, would I recommend this knowing what I know now?
Well, that is going to be the next question. So
Yeah.
Listen, I think this film is
Just go ahead and
brilliant.
finish your thought. It's fine.
I don't know if I would recommend it for this podcast at this moment, whatever, because I think that we would have all liked a brain scanners type jovial, stupid movie, haha, funny. But I
Yeah.
think this thing has a lot of artistic merit, really, honestly, I do. I think this is a very, I mean, pick a dark author, Poe, King. I mean, anybody, even whatever, that guy that did the Da Vinci Code, because those are dark, even if you want to really honestly bring it out. The Birds, anything, pick something that's a book. Flowers in the Attic, dark, 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 right? I mean, I think that this is, you can have that darkness and that doesn't take away from the entertainment. Seems like something I shouldn't say, but obviously entertainment factor. Like when I first read Stephen King's very, very dark book, The Long Walk, it's super entertaining, but it's super dark throughout. And this is super dark, but it's very entertaining. And my biggest problem with it, honestly, is the happy ending.
You thought this movie had a happy ending?
When you see them as spirits holding their baby and loving one another, that is their attempt to give a happy ending, and it doesn't need that part of it.
Okay, well, my recommendation is no, because I will never recommend a movie where a baby's head gets chopped off. I would say yes. I do agree there is some artistic merit to this film, but I will be 100% honest. I would prefer something that's like a knee-slapping physical comedy over a movie with artistic merit, only because this movie, I'm not lying, I had to watch like stupid videos on YouTube after this because this is a very like depressing movie. It definitely, if you do not have good mental health, don't watch this because it takes you down a dark hole.
Or if you have young children.
Yeah, I would not recommend this movie unless you're into dark humor, horror that with artistic merit, then fine, watch it. But man, you are going to need something to help you get out of that dark hole because it takes you into a dark hole mentally.
So, yeah, my thing about a movie, and maybe let's let Matthew, give your thing before I go.
I would not recommend this movie.
Okay. So this is a thing. I would agree with both of you for the most part that you shouldn't recommend this movie to anyone, with a couple of caveats, right? I think it's a very good movie. I just do. I think that and that mental health caveat, I think you're totally true. If you're in a dark place, don't watch this movie. But if you're looking for something, the same way that Snowpiercer, or there's a bunch of other movies, or Terrifier, or some things that have these dark, twisted thoughts. Because the thing that I think about it is we all have dark, twisted thoughts, and we don't act upon them. We don't like them. We don't love them. But the artistic merit, the way that I would recommend this movie, and I'm thinking it's very well acted. I think that all the people that were in it were very good. That baby was amazing. And then the other parts I would think is that if you're like, everyone's so good in this movie. The brother, the salesman, the Jesus, like all those things. Yes, Jesus. All those things. They're just the people that are actually in this movie are so good. The story is emotionally provocative, right? You're going to feel something if you watch this movie. You're going to be shocked, right? And honestly, don't watch it past that first scene with the salesman. You're going to be shocked. The way that she treats Jesus and the salesman is shocking, right? It's the most Karen thing you've ever seen out of a European movie, right? I just think it's very like even the part where, like, before the baby is dead, where Ruth is like, "You better tell your wife." You're like, what the fuck is happening, right? Like, there's so many, like, this thing ratchets up the tension of the whole thing from start to beginning. It just keeps clicking away at tension. Like, because you're like, if I was in front of a salesman and my wife started talking about the salesman in front of him this way, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening? Like, shut up, bitch. Laugh. Oh no, now I'm getting fucking domestic. Like those whole things, like throughout the thing. Him bringing that thing up the stairs Like, there's no part of this movie that just isn't just playing with you, like the audience, right? And that is a thing that Avengers movies make me feel joy. Like, they make me feel some things that from a kid, from a book perspective, make me feel. And this thing, from the dread that I felt the first time in ninth grade, I read the cast of Amontillado. They just kept ratcheting up things, right? Tale of Two Hearts, right? Whatever. The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. They just played on that dark thread and they pulled it until the sweater was gone and all we were left with is the nakedness of human beings.
Right on.
For sure.
Right with that thought, we're gonna wrap it up. But before I do, I want to ask you guys one more thing. Do you want to say one last quick thing about this movie before we wrap it up? Okay, then we're gonna wrap it up.
I
All
think
right.
no, I do. It's important to protect the rights of parents to have IVF in America and Spain and Britain and wherever we want on the world, because those people had to have that to get that baby. We know that because that baby wasn't just a raw dog situation.
Agreed. As well as those
Yes.
that choose surrogacy.
Let's protect women's rights to
I was just going to say,
reproductive health.
why don't we just protect women's reproductive health in general?
Yep.
Okay, well, thank you for that. All right, thank you guys so much for listening to us. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at BS Drunk Pod to stay updated. Now, if you listen to us on Apple Podcast or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review. We would really appreciate it, and it helps us out monetarily wise, if you get what I'm saying. We'll also, like I said before, be posting this to our YouTube channel. So be sure to check us out there and subscribe and everything. You can find us at YouTube at BS Drunk Movie Reviews. Also, you guys, we have started a Patreon. It's super fun over there. We go through movie series instead of just, individual movies. It's really fun. We've done,
I haven't been
Bring It
invited
On.
to any of those yet.
You won't be. We've done Ghostbusters, Bring
I
It
want to do
On.
50 Shades. 50 Shades.
Nope, that's for just us. And guys, go over there. Whatever level suits your interest and everything. The link will be in the description down below. Please, you guys,
Matthew doesn't like money. I'm a star.
Most importantly, you guys, please don't forget to drink, recap, review, and repeat. Bye, you guys.
Bye, guys.
Peace out. The Shaka.